Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Josh and this is my beautiful 2022 Tesla Model Y Performance. Today's video, we're going to be installing some more RGB lights in our Tesla. As you guys can tell, I do have the blue strip LED that goes all across the dashboard and I love the way that looks. So I figured why not try the RGB lights that go in the center console. I wanted to give a huge shout out to EVBase for sponsoring this video, as they were the ones who were able to make this video possible for me while providing excellent products at an excellent quality at a very good price as well. So I wanted to just showcase some of the installation procedures as well as the ending product, and hopefully you guys like it. Once again, thank you EVBase for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on with the installation. Now, to start this video, I do want to point out some of the things that come inside the package. The package did come with the instructions, but those are far gone. I don't know where I left them, but it does come with a very well laid out explanation map of how to install each particular RGB light or each particular accessory that you're adding onto the car. Now, the box comes with a few different things. So you have your prying tools, which we'll most likely be using, tape, which is it's like a hardcore tape. I've used it in my other LED installation and it's hardcore. It's really good. You also get the LED lights, which there's two of them. So there's this one and there's also this one. You also get a plug and play option, which is a pretty much, touch point on and off. And it's pretty much a plug and play, easy install. You get a USB, but unfortunately this Tesla, I believe newer models don't come with USB, they only come with USB-Cs. So I unfortunately won't be able to use these ones unless we get an adapter for this. And you also get the one that I think I'm going to go ahead and install, which is almost a hard wire, although this is almost plug and play as well, but this is a bypass essentially. So you're gonna connect your Tesla to this and then your terminal to this. That's essentially what this is. I've seen a million of these ones. They make it a lot easier. They work as if the item was an OEM accessory to the car rather than an aftermarket piece of equipment. So this is probably the one that I'm going to go with. You also get a motion detection sensor, pretty much what I have on my other RGB. Essentially what this does is it tells the car when there's no movement, it turns the lights off. So that way you're not consuming battery while the car is off or in standby mode. This pretty much kind of senses when there's no movement inside the car. So this is really good. And this is your main connector. So this would connect to your RGB lights. You get 4 of them. So I guess you can install more RGB lights if you wanted to, but for now we're only going to use 2 of these ones. So I do believe they're all the same exact finish and terminals. So yeah, I believe I can use whichever I prefer on these ones. You also get a little QR code to scan the app to change your colors with your cell phone. So it works via Bluetooth and it's very intuitive. I have it for the other lights and it works perfectly. Before installing the RGB lights, I do want to point out a few things. One, you're not going to install the lights inside here or inside here. You're going to install them in between the leather and the silver trim. So right in between here, that's where you're going to pry and install the RGB lights. You don't want to do them inside here because then you're going to have problems opening these. Also, the RGB lights will go from here all the way through the back. So you're going to see LEDs going all across this, which is really cool. Essentially, as I mentioned, what we're going to do is we're going to pry open this leather, so you guys can see over here and over here, to insert the RGB lights right over here, parallel to each other. So let's get started. The most difficult part over here to install this particular side was this little curve over here. So I did it just right under the curve. So that way I can have enough space to insert this without damaging it and then keeping with the same trail all the way to the back. It already looks way better. You could barely see this doing broad daylight. So I could imagine this to be very nice at night. And we're gonna try to measure just the same. So right before the curve. All right, guys, and the same thing. It was a bit difficult here, but I was able to get it. No damage done to the leather, no damage done to the prying tool, although I did crease the prying tool really bad trying to do it. But as you guys can tell now, over here in the back, we have all access to send this out to the back and to the bottom to install everything as if this was just an OEM product for the car. And it also closes perfectly normal, no cables, no nothing. So let's continue. Before I install the bypass, I want to go into the settings of the car. I want to go into safety and turn off the car to make sure that everything is off so I can safely disconnect the bypass and reconnect it with the new system. This way you avoid having glitches or problems with the car. Now for this step, it's fairly easy. I have it kind of pried out already, but it's pretty much a pull tab that you see here. And there's going to be your bypass. So you're going to connect this to each end to connect it, and that way they'll give you an extra access point for your RGBs. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and connect each end to the new bypass. If I ever get it correctly. So there's one, and this is all plug and play, so there's not a lot else that you need to do other than making sure that you plug everything together. One thing that I do want to point out is I didn't want any cables to come out of this area. So what I did is I went ahead and removed the rear AC, pretty much plug and play as well, just one single cable. You kind of pull it out and then you disconnect this. Very, very careful. But there is a gap between the AC and this cover. And as you guys can tell, this cover goes all the way down. So what I did is I just kind of fed the cable all the way through here, all the way here, and that way there's no cables exposed, there's nothing exposed, and the job looks a lot cleaner. So now I'm able to close this without doing anything else to it, and then I just gotta figure out a way to connect everything and jam it all in here, because I couldn't find any other way to jam all the cables in here. I didn't want to mess with them. So now let's go ahead and put the cover on this one. This is some serious one-handed operation here. There you go. There you go. And now let's try to work out a way to kind of feed everything on this particular zone. All right, guys. So the good news is that there is plenty of space in between the AC and the, I guess, the outer shell to feed every single cable. And essentially what I did is, I don't know if you guys can tell from here, but the lights are right over here. That's where they end. So I'm passing all this cable pretty much in between the end of the storage bin to the AC kind of part, right? So same on the other side. That's essentially what I'm doing. And I connected a movement detection device to the RGB lights. It's very self-explanatory, but I don't know that you actually need this if you're pretty much hardwiring on the bottom, but better safe than sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here, just kind of tape it over here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and connect the AC, the rear AC device unit. So like I said, all the cables were able to fit in here without, you know, damaging anything or, you know, causing any type of stress on the rear AC. So should be good to go. So let's continue. All right, let's test it out. So we have no cables exposed anywhere, but you do see a little bit of the cables on the sides. Let's see if that makes any difference when opening. Nope, no difference. All right, guys, as you guys can tell, there's no exposed cables. Everything looks in order. As far as installation goes, we are pretty much done. All I have to do now is close this lid right here, exit the car, turn the lights off, and test it out to see how it would look at night. I am very stoked about this, so let's go ahead and do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wish you guys can see this in person as I'm seeing it. These lights look amazing. They look stock. They don't look like they were added to the car after. This looks really, really pretty. And they go all the way to the back actually, which is really, really cool. I mean, I am impressed with this. The quality, the style, the look, everything on this just looks really, really cool. So I went ahead and turned the lights off on the car and everything so you guys can see how beautiful this looks. I mean, this looks amazing. It actually gives you a little bit of lighting here as well, which is really, really cool. And I haven't changed the colors. These are pretty much the standard colors that it comes with, but just really, really cool. The build quality on this is amazing. Now, one thing to note is how simple this was to install. It took me about 20 minutes and fairly easy actually. If you were to do it plug and play to where you just switch it on and off with one of the adapters that they give you, this install should take you no more than 10 minutes. As I said, it took me about 25 minutes to get everything ready while I was kind of exploring the options on where to put the cables, how to put them, where to tuck them in. So it could have easily taken me 15 minutes to install this, but I'm just blown away on how beautiful this looks, the quality of it, how responsive the system is with the application. You just connect it and you start switching the colors, and it actually worked with my other RGB lights, so they work as a full-on ecosystem under one single app, which is great. With that being said, guys, I'm thoroughly excited. This was such a cool install, such a huge night and day difference, and just very happy that the Tesla is starting to take shape to what I like to see in my cars. So with that being said, guys, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Anything that you guys may want to ask me about this. So I'm very excited, and more to come, obviously. Working in partnership with EVBase to provide the best and latest accessories for your Teslas, as well as just Rivians and any other EV that you may have. They were extremely helpful and responsive with this installation, as well as the help, as well as the shipping procedures. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.